Hi, this is Andy of Andy's Personal Development, and we are currently live in the breakout room. So, welcome, and we love being here for you with quality and value to inspire and to transform. Remember, we are on Apple, Spotify, Google, Amazon, and iTunes. Today, as usual, we have a special guest to share with you for your development and growth and to live your better informed life. So, grab a cup, pull up a seat, and stay tuned for the introduction. Right here, now, live in the breakout room. Hi, folks. This is Andy of Andy's Personal Development. And yes, we are live in the breakout room. Welcome wherever you are, whatever part of the world you are in. We are very happy and full of joy just to have the pleasure of sharing this moment and this time with you. Remember, Andy's personal development is geared towards development not only for persons but for groups as well as corporate organizations with regards to building up your character, your mannerisms, your attitude, and your desire to live your best possible life, to have the opportunity to have good health, prosperity, and happiness. Today, we were supposed to have Brian L. Arnold on the show, but unfortunately, he has called in and said that he has a family emergency. So he's unable to make it. He apologizes and he hopes to reschedule in the future. We wish Brian all the best and we hope that all will work well for him with his family and his loved ones, whatever they are going through at this point in time. We pray that all will be well with him and Godspeed in all his efforts and endeavors. As soon as we have an update for the next occasion, God's will, that we'll bring him on, we shall make it available to you. This morning, when I woke up, I had a strange feeling about things that were going to happen with regards to the show today. And there was some time during the course of the day, I had this strange kind of feeling that something was not right, but I did not know exactly what it was until I checked, my WhatsApp messages, and I realized that my sister had left me a message saying that someone whom I had known very well, was a very close friend of mine's, uh, someone who I considered as not just a friend, but a brother. He was a husband, a father, and I believe a grandfather. And she told me that he had passed away due to an infection of COVID-19. Now, I know that that is news that a whole lot of people are dealing with right now because as I speak daily, the numbers are going up and the level of concern for people's health and safety has also increased as a result of that. I knew this guy, Wayne Gore, and you would see the CG going across the screen in loving memory of Wayne Gore. I want to dedicate what I'm going to do for the next half an hour or so to this guy in the absence of our guest, Brian Arnold. Maybe the Lord worked it out this way. He works in mysterious ways, as wonders do, truly, to perform. I did not know how to respond when I got that message. So I called a guy by the name of Gus Glasgow. And if you know the history, it was always Andy Charles, Gus Glasgow, and Wayne Gore. We were known as the Three Musketeers. And the reason for that is because you could bring any song before us of any genre of music. And man, we'd put that song down for you and you'd believe that it was originally done by Gus, by Wayne, and by Andy. I knew this guy when I was about 15 or 16 years old. I came in contact with him. We became members of the same evangelical church together. Gus came in sometime after, and we recognized that we had a bond almost immediately. And so we did a lot of things together. We have a lot of fantastic memories that we can share with people now that he's gone, and it's it's a strange feeling. It's all around you. You see people are reporting their loved ones have died. This one has gone on, and that one has passed on. But when it comes home, people, and it hits you right where you are at with a loved one or a friend or a family member, it's an entirely different ball game. I have a brother in church right now who has had to deal with the death of five family members. And I don't know what strength this man is holding on to, except it has to be God in his life that has given him this strength to remain positive, to remain focused, to remain disciplined, to still believe that with God all things are possible. Because he has had to bury five loved ones, including his wife, his mother, a gentleman that he considers as his father, his sister, and his only daughter. It's amazing how he has held up during this period of time. And now our friend, our brother, Wayne Gore, is gone. I dedicate the rest of this program, this show, in loving memory of Wayne Sailor Gore. That was his nickname, Sailor. And I just want to share a memory with you guys. I remember a time we went to Tobago. We went there on a gospel camp, and they had a bonfire where you would come out and you would put your marshmallows on a stick and you'd put it in the fire and burn. And we sat down and we drank soft drinks and water and stuff. And they would ask people to do something, sing a song, say a poem, do a prose, do a monologue, something. And we we of course looked at each other and we decided, well, we're gonna do what we can do best, sing, right? It's our gift, it's our blessing, it's our talent. And we sang, and after we sang, nobody else wanted to do anything because they were saying, wow, I mean, this guy's original, great stuff. What are you gonna do after that? And there's so many loving, kind, endearing memories that I have of Gus and Wayne and I. And we have lost a gentleman. He was talented with music, he was talented in sports, and he was a loving husband and a father and I believe a grandfather to his family. And he'll be missed by many. And so, as we continue to live in this life, what I really would like for us to remember is that life is unpredictable. There are no guarantees. The time that we spend on this earth is short. Find the time, make and create the opportunities to say to the ones that you know, your friends, your family, your loved ones, your neighbors, your colleagues, hey, what's happening? How are you doing today? I miss you. I love you. I care for you. Because we don't know when that time would come, when that moment would come, when that loved one will be gone. There is not a sign that would come knocking our door, or a postman, or a prediction by the weatherman to say, in that realm, in that sphere, listen, X is going to die, Y is going to die. It does not work out that way. And so, how do you prepare for the death of a loved one, let alone five for my brother? I don't know how to respond to something like that. Maybe it's just a knee-jerk reaction, and you gasp, and you, for a moment, you try to come to terms with the reality, and you want it to sink in because you want to accept it, but you don't want to accept it because why does this have to be the reality that a loved one, someone whom you look at and see so much life and so much potential, so much to offer planet Earth, is gone? in a moment, in a twinkling of an eye, and there is no longer that physical presence of that person. And so that reminds me that we ought to be able to think of people in such an uplifting and positive manner that even when they are gone, we have good memories of them. Moments that we can go back on and look upon and feel good about and smile and feel the warmth and the love and the joy of just knowing that person, having that relationship with them, sharing those moments, those precious times, and knowing that even though they are not here in physical form or fashion, but at least we have those memories to hold on to. At least we have those memories to hold on to. At least we have those memories to hold on to. I thank you, Wayne Gore, for all those fantastic memories and those good times. He had a great sense of humor. He was very witty. He would take a sad situation in a moment, turn it into something laughable and something comical. And that was light and refreshing. Not a lot of people has that ability, and I'm gonna miss that about the guy as well. And right about this moment, what I want to do is to share a memory with you guys. I don't have him on film. I don't even have a picture of him. That's amazing. I was just searching because I got a confirmation of his passing about 2 hours ago from Gus. Yeah, my sister said it, and I was still trying to figure out, is this a real voice message or what? But I know that she would not make such a, such a just of something that was so serious. So this is one of his most favorite song. If you ask him to sing a song on the moment, Wayne Gore would sing this song, and I did this song in dedication to Wayne and the times that we would have spent together. I did this song maybe a couple of years ago. I can't remember. And I put it out there on Facebook. I don't mean to be rude or disrespectful to those with the copyright, but it was there on karaoke, and I just decided to tape it and to put it out there to share with people, because we need to know about love. We need to know about our vulnerabilities and our good times, even our indifferent times. And I just want to share this song. He would sing this all the time. We would back him up, of course. This is in honor of my departed friend, Wayne Gore. Still. Lady, morning's just a moment away, and I'm without you once again. You laughed at me. You said you never needed me. I wonder if you need me now. We played the games that people play. We made mistakes along the way. Somehow I know deep in my heart you needed me. Remembering the pain, if I must say, it's deep in my mind and locked away. But then most of all, I do love you.
Still, those memories, times I'm sure we'll never forget. Those feelings we can't put aside for what we had. Sometimes I try to understand, but it's so heavy on my mind. So many dreams that flew away, so many words we didn't say to people lost in a storm. Where did we go? Where'd we go and lost what we both had found? You know we let each other down, but then most of all, I do love you. Still. We played the games that people play. We made our mistakes along the way. Somehow I know deep in my heart you needed me, 'cause I needed you so desperately. We were too blind to see, but then most of all, I do love you. Still.
Yeah, that was done maybe about a couple of years ago or less. I can't even remember. But that is the song that I did in memory of Wayne Gore, who has now passed on and is no longer with us. My friends, the important thing about life is living in the moment. There is nothing more powerful than being able to be fully conscious of where you are, of who you are, and the image that you are projecting as an individual. When we begin to understand that there's only one of us that God has created, and no matter how insignificant we may seem to some people or to some circumstances or to some situation, there's a role for us to play. There's a purpose for us being on this earth. We are not here just because we are here. We are not here just because we are another being. We are not here just because we are a number or a statistic. We are not here just because we make up a poll. We are here because God has created us for a specific purpose. There's a destiny with your name and my name written on it, and it cannot be taken by anyone else. And what I want you to understand, what I want us to focus on, is how important it is to be able to make sterling, loving, endearing, comforting, warm, amicable, and plausible contributions to life. I have an opportunity that I'm not going to waste. God has blessed me with the ability to connect with people on so many different levels. And the reason why I'm doing this is not because I'm looking for fame or for fortune, is because I have been through so much in my life. I have so much to be thankful to God for that. These are the moments and the times that I have the opportunity to share. And as we ponder on the loss of a loved one, even as we focus on our friend at this time, the thing that I really think about the most is the fact that when someone that we love, that we know, that is close to us, is gone, it is then we try to think about the many ways in which we could have said or should have done, but it's too late. So nothing that we do now can be done for or on behalf of that individual that he or she can appreciate. They are no longer in a realm where they can appreciate what we want to do for them. And so, my encouragement to us is to reach out to our loved ones, reach out to our friends, reach out to our family. Let them know that we are thinking about them. This is not the time to hold on to grudges. This is not the time to hold on to things of the past. This is not the time to hold on to disagreements and quarrels and misunderstandings. This is a time for making up. They say that this is a season for sharing and caring and giving. Okay, fine, let's do that. But how about we do that right through the year 365? How about we focus on being as good as we possibly can, on being in loving and caring as much as we can for 365, without thinking about the consequences, without thinking about repercussions, without thinking about whether somebody deserves it or not, without being judgmental. Why can't we just love one another just for who we are and for what we bring to the table in this life? It's amazing how God loves us with all our faults and the shortcomings that we have. And we feel that we are good sometimes, but the scripture tells us that our good is like filthy rags in the sight of God. And there's a reason for that. We were all born in sin and shaped in iniquity. I'm not going to preach a sermon, but I have to go there because I want us to understand from God's perspective, from God's principled account, that there are no perfect individuals in his sight. We were all born in sin and shaped in iniquity, but we all have an opportunity to overcome that birth by having another birth, which is a spiritual birth made possible by the fact that Christ came, he died, on the third day he rose again, and he sits at the right hand of the Father, making intercession for you and for me. So while we're pointing the finger at somebody, who's pointing the finger back at us? While we are criticizing and bringing down somebody, who is doing the same to us? See, what we have to understand is the seeds that we sow into other people's lives and even into our lives may someday bear fruit. And when it comes back to haunt us and comes back to bite us, we're trying to figure out, why is this happening to me? Why can't I have better in my life? Why is it that so many things are so tough? I can't achieve, I can't accomplish. Go back down memory lane. Just do some introspection and see whether or not you yourself have contributed to the negative things that are happening in your life. See, I can tell you from experience that there are days and times in my life that I did not know where my next meal was coming from. I did not have a car. I had to walk. And sometimes I could not even pay bus fee, furthermore, to travel in a maxi or a taxi. And I remember when I did one of my podcast episodes, I entitled it "The Man with One Pair of Shoes." And that was me. I had one pair of shoes, people, and a pair of suit or clothing that you would call it your Sunday best and everyday special, because that's all I had. And so I had to go through the process of making sure that it was dry and properly ironed and pressed out so that every day I hit the road, I would look good, even though it was the same clothes, but I just had to look good. That one pair of shoes had soles that had holes in the soles. And I would pray every day while I go out that the rain would not fall, because I would put cardboard, pieces of cardboard in the soles of the shoe to ensure that even if it was wet, I would have something to protect my feet. But you know what? The rain would fall sometimes and the cardboard would get soggy and it would be a total mess. But I had to deal with that. It was my reality. And it taught me so many things. It impacted very positively on my character, on my mannerisms, on my perspective, on my outlook on life. I realized that I cannot and could not at any point in time take anything or anyone for granted. And so I learned, as my father had taught me, that people are people everywhere you go. Your neighbor is not necessarily the person that lives next door to you, but your neighbor is that person that you meet somewhere at some time on your journey in this life. And we can't look down on people and bring them to a lower level. You know what we do? We judge people by their actions and by our preconceived notions and limiting beliefs. But we judge ourselves by our intentions. We intended not to hurt John, but you end up hurting John anyways. You intended not to eat 4 scoops of ice cream, but guess what? You ended up eating 6. We always tell ourselves we have good intentions, but does it always turn out the way we intended to? No. Why? Because there's always the unknown factor of our subconscious, with all its deepest convictions rising up in the midst of our trials and biting us, because we always respond to that which we know, that not that which we don't know. What are you talking about, Andy? I'm talking about that moment in that time when you did say or thought something and you realize, wait a minute, did I say that? Did I did I do that? Was I thinking that? Yes, it was you, it was me. It was there all the time in your subconscious. But it needed a trigger moment. And when the trigger moment came, you were not aware because you immediately reacted. You did not respond. You reacted. You reacted because it was there in your subconscious, buried, but waiting for a moment, that trigger moment, to become a reality. That's how we are wired. In neuroscience, they decide that because of elastoplasticity, the mind has the ability, the brain rather, has the ability to transform itself and to change its conceptions and its notions and ideas and ways of doing things so that our minds itself can adapt to the possibility of change. But in order for that to happen, it takes a sense of awareness and it takes a reality check for us in making a decision. We have to decide how we are going to live, how we are going to exist and coexist with our fellow human beings. This world needs so much love. This world needs so much kindness. This world needs so much goodness, so much mercy, so much peace, so much warmth, so much good impressions, so much good thoughts, good ideas, innovations, thinking and acting outside of the box. Are we going to step up to the plate? Are we going to be the ones that are pioneers in saying, yes, we can do better? Yes, we can love each other. We can accept each other just as we are, irregardless of race, position, calling, color, creed, social standing, financial standing, career standing, vocational standing. It does not matter. We are all equal because we are all here on this planet for a purpose, for a reason. We all have a destiny to fulfill. Have you found your destiny? Do you know what your purpose and your calling is in life? And are you stepping up to the plate and saying, yes, here I am, Lord, send me? Because I know that this is my duty. This is my responsibility. This is what you placed me here for. You know what? We look at a cemetery and we think, wow, that's the saddest place to look at. But when you really think about it, when you really assess the reality of life and you look at the cemetery, if you are focusing objectively and understanding the cycle of life, you'd realize it's probably one of the richest places on planet Earth. You know why? There are so many secrets, hidden dreams, visions, goals, desires, accomplishments that are buried there. Some that became a reality and some that never materialized or never were realized because the individual did not take the time to discover who they are and seek fulfillment in their lives. They despised and rejected their destiny and instead allowed someone else to be the director in their life. Your life is your movie. You are the producer, you are the director. The studio is the stage of earth and it belongs to God. And so He has given us the opportunity to produce and to direct our lives. But most of us has given that strength and that authority to other people for various reasons. But at the end of the day, it is up to you and I to give an account of ourselves, the time that we spent here, and what we did with it. And if God should ask us, what would we say? Could we blame someone? Could we shun the responsibility and say, well, I didn't take it up because it was my mother, it was my sister, it was my boss, it was somebody. We always put in the blame on somebody except ourselves. You have the authority, you have the ability, you have the right, you have the responsibility to say to yourself, this is my destiny and I will fulfill it despite what it might cost me. One famous poet said, it is those that are willing to go beyond the limit of themselves that they know of that realize how far they can go. There's an old Chinese proverb that says, he who seeks the priceless pearl must be willing to dive the deepest. And an ex Prime Minister, Benjamin Disraeli of Britain, said, the greatest good that you can do is not in sharing your treasures with other people, but in helping them discover treasures of their own. I say to you, my friends, podcasters, loved ones, whoever you may be. Today is a day for us to recognize that we are someone and we have a purpose and we have a destiny to fulfill. We owe it to ourselves and we owe it to the Creator to find out what that is. Once there's breath in your body, it's never too late. Find out, seek the answers. And when you find out, ask more questions, seek more answers, seek the answers from those who have gone on before, those who have made the trek, who have stood the test of time, and who have understood and embraced their destiny and knows what it is to be in that particular realm or strata of life. It's only impossible if you say it's impossible because you believe it is impossible. But if you believe it is possible, then it can become a reality, not just a possibility. But it's all up to us to decide when and how. But it starts with us making that decision that we can be whom we were designed and created to be at the best of our ability, at the top of our game, if we only take that one step further by the deepest level of convictions that we can have. I'm going to go for a commercial break, but before I do that, let me just share something with you. The great Usain Bolt was once asked in an interview, Usain, you have competition, you have Tyson Gay, you have the Beast. You have so many great sprinters around you, Justin Gatlin, Asafa Powell. These guys, they are good. Some of the best we have ever seen in history. But for some reason or the other, you always seem to be at least 2 steps ahead of these guys. Why is that? He smiled and he said, when I'm in training and I'm dealing with my coach and my manager, and they ask me to do 100, I always give them 100 and more. He says, anything that they ask me to do, I don't limit myself to that. I do more than that. And he says, when I get on the track, it's not about competing, it's about performing. I don't think about the competition. I think about the time that I spent in training and what I was training for and what I preparing myself to do. So when I get on the track, it is just to execute. And that gives me the extra edge. My friends, this episode is in loving memory of a friend by the name of Wayne Gore, who's no longer with us, a victim, another victim of COVID-19. I'll be right back as we have this break for advertisement. Stay strong, stand by. Be with you shortly. Welcome back. This is Andy of Andy's Personal Development, and we are live and alive in the breakout room. As I said before that break, we are doing this show in love and memory of a friend who is no longer with us. His name is Wayne Gore. And at this time, I really want to do something that is dear to my heart and is really special. Now, I belong to the Church of Christ, and we have a certain amount of commitment to displaying the reality of the gospel in its pure and unadulterated form to the world. And this is a time of the year, the season of Christmas and the holidays. For some, it's a bit of a challenge because of trying to stay away from what may appear to be enjoying the festivities or the occasion, as the case might be. I don't have that struggle. Neither do I desire to or in any way intend to offend anyone as a member of the household of faith of the churches of Christ. But I believe that we have an opportunity to let the world know that we understand the struggles that they have. And we understand that we're in a position that is unique because while we preach the word of God, we are also human. We are also members of the human race on planet Earth. And while we are not involved in things of this world, we are in this world. And it would be folly of me to not understand the observance of certain things, especially if you know the history and the information that is behind it. Sometimes we do things in total ignorance, not understanding why something is being done and the manner in which it is being done. For me, this is not a season of celebration, but this is a season of observation. To observe love for family, friends, the people that are around you, the people that you see every day, and even those that you don't. And so I put together a greeting, and I also did a song in it. With all due respect again to those who would have the copyright, but this was available on karaoke. And it is my greeting to you out there, as well as my hope and my desire. The term wish is used in there, but I really don't believe in wishes, but I hope, I have a great desire of hope that this world would eventually be a better place to live in as time goes on. The words in the song are so powerful. It's like if you listen to the chorus, you'd understand what I'm saying. No more lives torn apart, that wars would never start, and time would heal all hearts. Every man, everyone deserves to have a friend. I mean, come on, those are so powerful and so endearing. I'm talking too much. Let me just share this with you. Okay. Hi guys, this is Andy of Andy's Personal Development, and I'm saying to you on behalf of my wife and the people that are behind me, season's greetings. Godspeed to all of you, and a blessed and prosperous 2022. But the real message for me is in a song that really expresses a great desire of my heart for what I would love to see happening in the world. And the reason for that mainly is because there are many people who may have wishes for this season. And then they would have what you call affirmations that they would make for the new year. But what about those who have been wishing for a difference in their lives for the entire year? A change in fortune, a change in hope, a change in belief. They need some love. They need for a relationship to work. They need for their career to take off and to go to the next level. But It just hasn't happened as yet. Are they gonna give up? I think not. This song, I believe, is gonna send a message of hope. And I hope that you understand the love that is coming from my heart to you and to all of us who are gonna hear this song in this season. That is for me, for all seasons. Do you remember me? I sat upon your knee. I wrote to you with childhood fantasies. But I'm all grown up now. Can you still help somehow? I'm not a child, but my heart still can dream. So here's my lifelong wish, my grown-up Christmas list, not for myself but for a world in need. No more lives torn apart, that wars would never start, and time would heal all hearts, and every man would have a friend, and right will always win, and love will never end. This is my grown-up Christmas list. What is this illusion called? The innocence of you. Maybe only in a blind belief can we ever find the truth. No more lives torn apart, that wars would never start, and time would heal all hearts, and everyone would have a friend, that right will always win, and love will never end. This is my grown-up Christmas list. This is my only lifelong wish. This is my grown-up Christmas list. We love you. God bless. Hey, so that is my seasonal love and my message of hope that I have shared with you guys. And I hope that from the bottom of my love of heart and my heart of love, that you feel the same that I feel and you have the same hope, that we can share this together. So, this is Andy of Andy's Personal Development in the Breakout Room. This episode, I have dedicated it in honor of a loving friend, in loving memory of Wayne Gore. We were supposed to have Brian L. Arnold on from Las Vegas, Nevada, but he had a family issue, an emergency he had to take care of. So we're going to have to reschedule him coming on the show. For many of you who are familiar with my podcast and my Facebook page, you would have seen a live interview on Chat and Spin Radio with me yesterday with Ron Clark, who's the owner, and Ian Johnson, who is the station manager. These guys are real professionals and good friends of mine, and they're doing a lot of great stuff, a lot of great work in London. Their website is getting hits over 2,500, sometimes up to 2,700 per day. And their audience has recently hit just about a million listeners, followers, subscribers. So, in the season of giving and sharing and loving, I will do an advertisement on behalf of Chat and Spin Radio. So stay tuned for this. Hi, this is Andy of Andy's Personal Development, and we're doing a bit of advertising on behalf of our friends at Chat and Spin Radio. People need it for free advertising on Chat and Spin Radio. Please pass to your friends on social media, those who are involved in business, book author, band, singer, coach, and podcaster. Would you like free advertising on Chat and Spin Radio? If so, please visit www.chatandspinradio.com and click the Contact US tab to leave a message or email Ian Johnson on chatandspin@gmail.com for more information. So, you can check their website or you can check them on Facebook. Facebook.com/chatandspin for your free advertising on Chat and Spin Radio. All right. So that's it, my friends. That's the end of this episode of The Breakout Room. Andy of Andy's Personal Development, your friend and your fellow lover of life and hope for all things good, for all things precious, for all things wonderful, for all things magnanimous, for all things endearing, for all things positive. Think positive, act positive, believe positivity. Let it be a part of your life, your mantra, your desire, your hope. Let it be the impetus, the thing that gives you the desire to move to the next stage, the next level in life every day, one step at a time, 1 degree, 1% at a time. You can do it if you believe it. Remember, we are not a number, we are not a statistic, we are a being. We have purpose and we have a destiny to fulfill. This episode was in loving memory of my departed friend Wayne Gore, a victim of COVID 19. Remember to follow the protocols. I'm not telling anyone about the vaccination at this time. I have my own takes on that and things that I have personal convictions about. But it is up to you to use whatever means are out there that are necessary for you to overcome, for you to survive, and to protect you and your family against the scourge of this pandemic. But remember to follow the protocols. Watch your physical distancing, 6 feet apart. Wash your hands, wear your masks, and sanitize. Be careful, people. But stay in love, stay in peace, stay in hope. Godspeed to all of you. This is Andy of Andy's Personal Development saying until the next time, see you. God bless. Stay strong. We're out of the breakout room. See you soon. Bye for now.